we're going to spend some time on something called Questionland. We're going to use a method for collecting your questions in the land of questions.
Seeing themselves as someone who understands the data and can ask questions about it helps young people develop a STEM identity. See how learners take a critical look at the data they've been examining and ask a lot of questions. They learn that scientists also have lots of questions about their research data.
If you take a moment in time to read over your question, and then once you're done, let's focus on this board. All right, go ahead and read out for us, Lucas.
The birder team is very interested in figuring out what this data tells us about the penguins. Write down as many questions about the penguin data that you can in your research journal.
We're going to put our questions on Post-it notes. Maybe you fit one question on a Post-it, and then you can certainly take a what? We really just want to share out and look at each other's wonderings.
In this activity, learners experience how asking questions drives scientific research forward. They think about the important questions they have about the data they have been exploring.
What do you think the next move would be with all of these questions?
Compare them to your question.
So we go back to the analyzing. Comparing them, maybe some questions have the same topic. So maybe we could move the Post-its on the actual sheet if they have a common inquiry. This takes time, people, so take your time to read them over.
Learners are taught how to use the question formulation technique, or QFT, to brainstorm questions about the data trends they've observed. They are exploring the connections between sea ice habitat, penguin populations, and the potential impacts of climate change.
Has everybody had a chance to kind of like look over the questions at their table? Do you think we're ready to switch?
We're trying to see if we can find two sticky notes that are somehow similar to each other.
Okay.
Because it's still pair them up.
You can pair them up. You can move them on this chart paper. That's the beauty of the Post-its.
Why is it Gen 2 population? But I wonder if this one? Not wrong because Adeli's aren't increasing at all.
This one talks more about all of them, and this one talks mostly about two of them. But they kind of have almost the same idea.
Okay.
So you want to put it in like.
She wants to put those together. Is that okay like that?
Like here.
It's perfectly fine. In agreement. I love it. And these two were connected. Why?
They both talk about like why, like if Gen 2's increase or decrease, how they affect the other.
If we talk about these questions, what types of questions do we have? How can we like sum this up into categories?
Okay, so a lot of them talk about climate change, and a lot of them talk about how like food sources and how like the environment will change and how they will change with it.
They also mostly talk about the environmental life, like the penguin.
The questions we're asking about like their lifestyles, like how.
And like what might be affecting their lifestyles.
Were there some questions that were geared towards that? Like how so? Expand upon that.
So they explained in different ways, like why or how, like the population declined or increased.
All right, we're going to share this video right now. You ready for this?
Hi, I'm Ashley Hart Adams, and congratulations, you made it. Your data is hot off the presses, and now that we've made our way out of questions land, where we asked a whole lot of questions, Dr. Megan Cimino, a biological oceanographer, is here to explain why the penguins need your help.
So it's really important to have this long-term data, especially at this study site, Palmer Station, because it's one of the most rapidly warming regions in the world, and penguins are really sensitive species, and they give us some clues into what the environment is doing. And you can tell that by how well their population is doing or how good the parents are doing at raising chicks. The main goal of my work is to understand the decline in the Adelie penguin population and the rise in the Gen 2 population. And this is a really interesting problem because both of these species eat krill, yet their populations are doing the opposite thing in the same place. So we're really focused in on studying how the landscape could be affecting their populations, how changing ocean conditions
But
could
if
be
you
affecting.
notice, Dr. Semino, you guys had the same questions as her. You did. Did you hear her asking about like the environment and the landscape and the development? She showed the egg, right? So I think that was over in that group and your group. You guys, in just this short amount of time, that your questions are almost exact, like the scientists that are down there.
Young people build their data literacy by learning how to ask questions of the data. They practice examining data, making claims, and asking what the data indicates. By applying the 3 C's of data literacy, curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking, they are building their skills and developing a STEM identity.